What's up, guys? Synthetic Division here. So we had an interesting develop, and I figured this would be great for the third part of this video series. So one of the things I came into and kind of happened here was, crazy enough, bulk axe number 4, the first one we did, overheated. Well, not quite overheated, but it's getting close. In my room where it was at, I seen the voltage regulator hit almost 71 degrees Celsius. So it's close to overheat. Remember, the voltage regulator, aka the buck converter on these, are only rated to 90 degrees Celsius. So we don't want to, we're following the 80% rule by keeping it down. We are slightly overclocked. We're 600, 1100, 1150. So let's address that. So one of the things, the ASIC is sitting at about 53 degrees in here. So it's not terrible, but in the other room, it was getting hotter. And I'm thinking part of the reason was, one, they're close to each other. Until I get my new rack, they're kind of going to be like that. But two, I want to, if you remember right, we put a heat sink on the back there. I actually want to take that off. I don't think it's helping. I think if anything, it's making it worse. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and just take this off, this one here. We will add one up here, and then we will add another one here. But first, let's do a full test by just taking that heatsink off. I actually think that might be sort of increasing the ASIC temperature, which, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because you're like storing temperature at the back of the ASIC, especially when you don't have a fan blowing on it. It makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove that. So let's just, it's warm to the touch. I can feel it. It's not that warm though, and I don't think it's helping. So I'm going to go ahead and get a pair of pliers. We've got a set of pliers right here. We're going to unplug the Bitaxe and we're going to pull it off real fast. So the way I like to pull them off is just grab them like that and then tilt it. It'll come right off. And then no tape left behind. And then maybe we'll save that one and see if we can fit it in here up top here. But let's go ahead and plug it back in. And then I'll pause the video. We'll let it run for a few minutes and see if that changes the difference in the temperature on the ASIC. I have a feeling that that's doing absolutely nothing, but no way to really confirm it. I set up another Bitaxe for this particular video. Sadly enough, I lost all the audio on it. So I figured, why not just do this? I'll show you that other Bitaxe when we come back that I set up for this and how I set it up. But for now, let's address Bitaxe or bulk axe number 4 and get the problem corrected with it. Because this, these are overclocked. They're gonna be sitting in my room, and I don't want them to have a big problem. So hang in there for a second, guys. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, so we're back. Yeah, we lost 3 degrees by removing that heatsink from the back of the board. The voltage regulator is still pretty high, and I'm not happy about that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to address the voltage regulator problem. We're going to go ahead and replace a heatsink up here, and then I'm going to place one right here as well. I think I've done that in a previous video where I put it on those 2 caps just to try to help out. So let's go ahead and kill the power to it. And I'm going to reuse that one I took off of the ASIC chip area. I think we should be no problem reusing that guy right there. So let me get the tweezers real fast, and that'll help me line it up right so that I don't have any problems with where it's sitting on that board. I don't want this copper one to touch absolutely anything. May have to use a pair of pliers. I've seemed to have misplaced my tweezers. My desk is a mess. I've been working hard on getting these things put on, so we'll just try it this way if we can. I don't think that's going to work. Let's find the old tweezers, because that's about the only way. Oh, there they are. They're hidden. These work really well, so. Yeah, I don't know if that one's going to work behind there. It's just a slight bit too wide, and I'm not comfortable with it that close to the barrel jack. So we'll save that one for another one, and we'll just grab a small one if I've got another small. I do. And see if that works. That one's just a little bit too wide, and I'm not good with that one sitting there. So we might just have to put a small one on the front there. It's not a big deal, but yeah, I don't want to if you touch that barrel jack with power, there's a good chance you could have a problem. So we're going to set that one in there just like that. And then we're going to place one more on the back over the top of these two capacitors to try to reduce more. It's weird, and this might be the silicon lottery on this guy. It just it can't keep up with the rest of them, the ones that I've modified so far. Out of all the Bitaxes I've modified, this one seems to struggle the most with its very minor overclock, which is crazy to me because it is a very minor overclock. We're going to put this one right on top of those caps. And again, guys, one thing I want to tell you real quick, and I have some heat sinks I can show you. This was actually one of the first kits I ever bought. This would probably be a really good kit if it wasn't using thermal glue. So thermal glue is one thing when you're doing when you're placing it on like a chip or something like that. In fact, if you remember the Hex 703 had thermal glue on it. But if you put thermal glue on like on a cap and you push it too hard and the heat sink basically touches it, you're going to short it out. Plain and simple, no questions about it. The other thing I was thinking about doing, and maybe I'll save this for a future video, is rotating the heatsink. I've had a few comments about that, so I think it's maybe something we'll try. Um, if this doesn't resolve the high ASIC temp, I do have another idea with the heatsink as well. But I really need to get the voltage regulator in check first, so let's go ahead and plug that in. Okay. Had me freaked out for a second when that fan just kind of cycles. Makes me think like it's going to burn itself up. That's kind of scary. But so I'm going to pause it real quick while this heat soaks, and I'm going to grab the other Bitaxe that I had modified for the original video before I lost the audio, and I'll kind of explain what I did on that one. So hang in there, guys. Okay, so we're back. It's been running for a while. We've lost a few degrees. We're still in the high 60s, which I'm not, or mid 60s. I would say 62 to 65 is where it's been kind of at. This is what I did to the other one that was originally supposed to be in this video. And this did fantastic. One of the other things that I did was I rotated the heatsink to where the fan is actually blowing upwards, just like that. And I think I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Also, look at the difference on the heatsink placement. Used a bit of a smaller one there and a long one there. I think we're going to replicate the same thing. See if that helps correct what we have here. I don't mind wasting heat sinks for science here. And I always kind of save them back here and reuse them if I need them for something else. So let's go ahead and do that. That really didn't help much as I thought it would, and I was hoping it would, but it didn't. So let's go ahead and we're going to position the heat sinks just like this. And then let's pull the cooler off and rotate it. Or I can use one of my bared aluminum ones that I have already. We might do that too, but I think I'd rather just see if just rotating that will help. So I'm going to pause it, get it all set up, and we get it unplugged here. In fact, let's pull heat sinks off with you guys here. Pull that off. This is the crappy part, is trying to take these off, especially these bigger ones. What I try to do is, if I can, find my little blade tool that I have from iFixit and just kind of get underneath there if we can. Trying not to dig into the board too hard. That might not work. We might see if we can rotate it. It's loose, as you can tell there, see? So we just need to get it in the right spot. But again, you don't want to dig it too hard into the board because we might have to use a pair of pliers to pull that off. Yeah, it's kind of being inconvenient. See if we can do it this way. No way we can get this one off because it wasn't quite all the way adhered yet. This one's been on there for a day or two, so or been on there for a little, well, since the other video. So, oh, I just broke my tweezers. Look at that. Freaking heck. That's all right. You can get replacements from iFixit. So yeah, I wonder, let's try a razor blade to try to sneak up underneath that. Yeah, that seems to do a better job. There we go. We got it off there. Doesn't look like we've damaged the board at all. Hopefully we didn't. So let's get the long one. We're going to use this longer heatsink like this. And then we're going to use the small one like the other one, which is a smaller one like that. Basically, we're going to do the exact same setup here and see if that helps bring down those thermals a little bit. So I want to actually place that square one first, and then that'll give me a better strategy on where to place the other copper one at on there. It's unfortunate that I broke my tweezers though. So let's go ahead and get this one kind of placed right in there. Right there. And then we can place this one kind of, well, if we look at it like this one, we'll place it just about like that. Let's see if we can't. There we go. We'll place it like that. That looks like a good one. So hopefully it still powers up and I didn't screw up anything. That's kind of goes to show I'm prepared. I'm prepared. These are prepared to die. If something happens, this will kill it. So let's go ahead and fire it back up. We got our heat sinks back on there. We'll make sure it's hashing. Make sure I didn't screw anything up. And we'll see if that helps. Again, I will have another video showing exactly what I did here on this one. But like I said, just positioning this was really helpful. I don't want to reveal too much, but change the orientation of this heatsink. It really helps. Okay, so we're hashing away. I'll pause the video. We'll come back and see how we're doing. Okay, guys, real fast. I decided, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go ahead and replicate what I did on this one from the lost footage. So I pulled the heatsink off. The thermal paste that I had on there was the Arctic MX7. It was doing okay. I'm going to put a bare aluminum heatsink on there, and we're going to replicate exactly what I did to this one from the lost footage that I had there. So real fast, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to put it on there, and then we'll conclude this video. Okay, guys, so let's wrap it up real quick. Final results: 49 on the voltage or on the ASIC, 58 on the voltage regulator. This one actually runs a bit lower than that. So I think this might be a bit of the case of the silicon lottery. We're in optimal territory. We're cooling this off. We've lost some temperature on that voltage regulator for sure. We took it back down another probably 7 to 10 degrees, somewhere in that range. We're using MX6. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it on this one. We'll keep an eye on bulk axe number 4. There's the number right there on the top. I don't know if you can see that correctly. Without my thumb in the way, you might. But we'll keep an eye on this one. This one might be a case of the silicon lottery. This was our hottest device. At one point, that voltage regulator, unchecked in stock settings, hit 77 degrees Celsius, which is too much. If we're following the 80% rule, 72 is the highest you want to go. We're 600, 1150 on our overclocks. All of them will from now on will be set at that. So yeah, I'm going to conclude it here. It's too bad I lost the footage for this one, but it's exactly the same setup almost. Same fin positioning on the fans and everything. This one seems to be doing better, which is kind of crazy. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching the videos, dude. I'm really happy to see that we're gaining some traction. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them down in the comments, man. I'm happy to help. Real quick, Gamer Dadbot or Gaming Dadbot, I think is his name was. Thanks for the suggestion on the fans. I'll mention you in another video. Same thing. Appreciate the suggestion. It seems to be really helpful. So if you're trying to cool them down, that's one way to do it on the cheap. Also, bearing the heatsink to the aluminum. Fantastic idea. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace out.